Welcome back to our channel, World Coins History. As you knew that old is gold, but these rare Jefferson nickel coins that are most valuable than you think, don't spend one of them. You're lucky if you have one of these, so please watch complete video and find your treasure. Let's start this. Top 1. Today, we're diving deep into a fascinating piece of American history, the 1971 United States 5-cent coin. While the 5-cent coin, or nickel, may seem like just another piece of pocket change, there's more to this small yet mighty coin than meets the eye. You may not know this, but the 1971 nickel is more than just a symbol of everyday transactions. It holds a significant place in both U.S. numismatic history and the world of collectors. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll discover just how valuable this seemingly modest coin has become, and trust me, you're in for a surprise. Let's set the stage with a little history lesson. The 1971 nickel was produced during a time of transformation in the United States. The nation had entered the 1970s, a period marked by both challenges and progress. On the political front, the country was dealing with the aftermath of the Vietnam War and the civil rights movements, while socially, people were becoming more attuned to issues of environmentalism and global awareness. The economy, on the other hand, was seeing shifts, such as the transition from the gold standard, which had profound effects on the monetary system. In fact, in 1971, President Richard Nixon made a landmark decision by severing the direct convertibility of the dollar to gold, marking a significant turning point in economic history. Amidst these changes, the U.S. Mint was busy striking coins, including the 1971 nickel. This coin was part of the ongoing tradition of the Jefferson nickel, a series that had been in circulation since 1938. The Jefferson nickel, designed by Felix Schlag, features the profile of Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States, and it was meant to honor his legacy. Jefferson is an iconic figure in American history, known for authoring the Declaration of Independence, his role in expanding the nation through the Louisiana Purchase, and his presidency during a crucial period of American growth. The design of the 1971 nickel, just like its predecessors, features Jefferson's portrait on the obverse, or front, side of the coin. The likeness of Jefferson has undergone various design changes throughout the years, but the 1971 version is especially notable for the details and the artistry that went into its creation. The coin's reverse side features an image of Jefferson's home, Monticello, which he designed himself. This image has become a symbol of Jefferson's architectural genius and his contributions to American culture and history. Now, let's talk about the technical details. The 1971 nickel was struck in a composition of 75% copper and 25% nickel, a formula that has remained the standard for U.S. nickels for many decades. The coin has a diameter of 21.21 mm and a weight of 5 grams, making it a relatively small yet substantial piece of currency. It was minted in large quantities, and like most circulating coins, it was used in daily transactions. However, despite its wide circulation, coins from 1971 in excellent condition are becoming more difficult to find, particularly those that have been well preserved and free from the usual wear and tear of everyday use. What makes the 1971 nickel stand out to collectors is not just its design or its historical significance, but the rarity and condition of the coin. While the United States Mint struck millions of these coins, finding one that has survived in pristine, uncirculated condition is a rarity. Coins that have been well preserved, free from the usual scratches, dings, or discoloration, are highly coveted by collectors. These coins often fetch higher prices at auctions, as they represent a piece of history that has been kept in exceptional condition. In addition to its well-preserved versions, some 1971 nickels also feature unique characteristics that make them even more valuable. For example, coins that have been misstruck or exhibit minting errors are often sought after by collectors. These errors could include off-center strikes, doubling of the lettering, or other inconsistencies that occurred during the minting process. Error coins, while rare, are some of the most coveted pieces among serious numismatists. A small mistake during production can turn an otherwise ordinary coin into a prized collector's item worth far more than its face value. over the years, the 1971 nickel has gained significant attention in the numismatic world. It's a coin that, despite its relatively low face value, has become a symbol of both historical importance and rare beauty. As with any collectible, the demand for these coins fluctuates depending on the market and the interest of collectors. However, one thing remains constant: the 1971 nickel, especially in uncirculated condition or with rare minting errors, continues to be a prized treasure. And now, for the moment you've all been waiting for. If you have a 1971 nickel in excellent, uncirculated condition, or even better, one with a minting error, your coin could be worth an astonishing $61,000. Yes, you heard that right. A single 1971 nickel could fetch you a small fortune if it's in the right condition or has the right features. It's truly amazing how something as simple as a 5-cent coin can have such a remarkable value, but that's the magic of numismatics. So, if you happen to have any old coins lying around, or if you stumble upon a 1971 nickel in your change, make sure to give it a closer look. You never know, your small coin might be worth a lot more than you think. Top 2, we have a truly fascinating story about one of the most interesting pieces of U.S. currency, the 1972 United States 5-cent coin, also known as the nickel. Now, we all know that coins can have great historical value, but the 1972 nickel is one that holds a special place in both U.S. history and the world of numismatics. You might have seen these coins in your pocket change, but today, we're diving deep into the details of this often overlooked coin. By the end of this video, we'll reveal the staggering value of this humble nickel, and you'll be amazed at just how much it could be worth. The story of the 1972 nickel is intertwined with a period of significant change in the United States. It was a time of both political and cultural transformation. The Vietnam War was winding down, but its effects still reverberated throughout the nation. The Watergate scandal, which would bring about the resignation of President Nixon, was already in motion. In the midst of all this, the U.S. Mint continued to churn out coins to support the growing economy. And in 1972, the nickel, which had been a part of the U.S. currency system for over a century, continued its tradition with a design that was nearly identical to previous years. Yet, the coin's story would take an interesting twist. The nickel has a long and proud history in the United States. It was first introduced in 1866 as the shield nickel, and has gone through several redesigns since then. By 1938, the Jefferson nickel design was adopted, created by artist Felix Schlag, and it has remained in circulation ever since. The Jefferson nickel features the profile of Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States, on the obverse, front, side of the coin. On the reverse side, we see a depiction of Jefferson's estate, Monticello, which he designed himself. The Monticello building represents not only Jefferson's personal legacy but also the architectural achievements of early America. When we look at the 1972 nickel specifically, we see that it has the same design elements as the 1938 version. This was a standard feature for the U.S. Mint during this time. The design remained consistent, making it easy for people to identify and use. The 1972 nickel was minted with the same composition as its predecessors, 75% copper and 25% nickel, giving it its familiar metallic sheen and durable structure. This combination of copper and nickel made the coin ideal for widespread circulation, as it was resistant to wear and tear and could withstand the rigors of daily use. However, even though the 1972 nickel was widely circulated, not all of them are easy to find in good condition. Coins from this era were used extensively in daily transactions, and as a result, many of them suffered from the typical wear and tear. From scratches to discoloration, most 1972 nickels were subject to years of handling, leaving only a few in pristine, uncirculated condition. This is where the story of the coin's value begins to get interesting. In the world of numismatics, a coin's condition is key to its value. Coins that have been kept in excellent condition, free from scratches, dings, or discoloration, are often sought after by collectors because they represent a piece of history that has been well preserved. The 1972 nickel is no exception. Though millions were minted that year, very few have survived in near-perfect condition. That's why the ones that have been carefully stored and preserved are often worth much more than their face value. Coins that exhibit no signs of wear, no visible marks, and show little to no signs of circulation can fetch impressive prices at auctions or private sales, but it doesn't stop there. Beyond the uncirculated coins, there are certain variations and errors that make the 1972 nickel even more appealing to collectors. In the world of coin collecting, mistakes made during the minting process can lead to rare and valuable pieces. For example, some 1972 nickels may have been struck off-center, creating a unique visual effect. Others may have experienced doubling in the design elements, where the text or features appear more than once, leading to a misprinted or slightly altered coin. Minting errors like these make a coin much more interesting to collectors, and their rarity increases their desirability and value. Among the more interesting features of the 1972 nickel are those that were misstruck or improperly minted. While the U.S. Mint takes great care to produce high-quality coins, errors can sometimes slip through the cracks. When this happens, a coin that was originally intended to be a simple piece of currency becomes a valuable collector's item. These mistakes are part of what makes coin collecting so exciting. There are always new discoveries to be made, and each coin has a story of its own. Now, you're probably wondering what kind of price range we're talking about when it comes to the 1972 nickel. In reality, most 1972 nickels are worth only 5 cents, just like the day they were first minted. However, when you get into the realm of uncirculated coins or those with minting errors, things start to get much more interesting. Coins in mint condition or with unique characteristics can be sold for much higher prices, especially at auctions or through private collectors. In fact, a 1972 nickel that is well preserved or has a rare minting error can be worth an impressive $59,000. That's right, a single 1972 nickel could potentially net you a small fortune, depending on its condition and any unique features it might have. If you happen to have a 1972 nickel tucked away in your collection, or even in your pocket change, it might be worth taking a closer look. You could be sitting on a hidden treasure, one that has significant value to collectors. Of course, condition is key, but it's also important to look out for any unusual features, such as minting errors or off-center strikes, as these could add an extra layer of value to your coin. So, the next time you come across a 1972 nickel, remember that it's not just a piece of currency, it could be a valuable part of American history, and in the right condition, it might just be worth a lot more than you think. Top 3. We're about to take a deep dive into a piece of American history that might just be sitting in your pocket right now, the 1991 United States 5-cent coin, also known as the nickel. It may seem like just another small piece of currency, but trust me, the story behind this coin is anything but ordinary. So, grab your magnifying glass and get ready to explore the fascinating details of the 1991 nickel. By the end of this video, I'll reveal the shocking value this seemingly humble coin can have today. Stay tuned until the end to learn just how much it could be worth. The 1991 nickel comes from an era that might seem relatively recent, but it was a time of transformation in the United States. The country had just emerged from the 1980s, an era marked by significant economic growth, and was moving into the 1990s, a decade that would bring its own set of challenges and innovations. In the world of coinage, the 1991 nickel was part of the ongoing tradition of the Jefferson nickel, a series that had been around since 1938. This series, designed by Felix Schlag, has become one of the most recognizable coins in U.S. history. To fully appreciate the 1991 nickel, we have to take a step back and understand the significance of the Jefferson nickel as a whole. The design of the Jefferson nickel has remained mostly unchanged since its inception, with only slight modifications over the decades. On the obverse, we see the profile of Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States, who was a founding father, the author of the Declaration of Independence, and a key figure in the development of the nation. His image on the coin represents not only his personal legacy but also the enduring principles of democracy and freedom that the United States was built upon. On the reverse side of the 1991 nickel, you'll find an image of Jefferson's home, Monticello. This architectural marvel, which Jefferson himself designed, is a symbol of his passion for knowledge and innovation. The Monticello on the reverse of the nickel has also undergone slight changes over the years, but it remains a strong representation of Jefferson's personal contributions to American society. The 1991 nickel continues to showcase this proud legacy, representing both Jefferson's impact on the nation and the nation's ongoing respect for its historical leaders. As for the technical details of the 1991 nickel, it was struck in a composition of 75% copper and 25% nickel, the same formula used for decades. This mix gives the coin its familiar metallic color and durability. The nickel measures 21.21 mm in diameter and weighs 5 grams, making it a standard-sized coin, easy to carry and handle in everyday transactions. These coins were produced in large quantities by the U.S. Mint, and as such, the 1991 nickel circulated widely across the country, just like every other year's issue. However, while the 1991 nickel may seem like just another circulating coin, its true value lies in the rarity of its pristine examples. Most of the 1991 nickels that are in circulation today have undergone years of wear and tear. Being used in daily transactions, they have accumulated scratches, scuffs, and other signs of use. Over time, these imperfections can reduce the value of a coin. However, a coin in mint condition, free from wear, is much more valuable to collectors. For this reason, coins from the 1991 series that are well preserved and show no signs of circulation are highly sought after. The appeal of the 1991 nickel to collectors doesn't end with its condition. As is the case with many coins, there are often variations and errors that can make certain examples of the 1991 nickel even more desirable. Minting errors, such as off-center strikes or doubling of the design, can make a coin unique and much more valuable than its standard counterparts. These error coins are especially sought after by numismatists and can sometimes fetch much higher prices than a regular, well-preserved coin. If you happen to have a 1991 nickel with a noticeable error, it could be worth far more than you might expect. Let's also consider the historical context of the 1991 nickel. The 1990s were a time of great change in the United States, both socially and economically. The 1991 coin represents a period in history when the country was transitioning into a new era, one marked by the end of the Cold War, the rise of the Internet, and a shifting global economy. Coins from this time are often seen as more than just currency, they're tokens of a specific moment in history, and for many collectors, owning a coin from this period is like holding a piece of the past. Now, we get to the exciting part. You may have heard that some coins from the past can be worth much more than their face value. The 1991 nickel is no exception. While most of these coins are worth only 5 cents, a well-preserved 1991 nickel or one with a rare minting error could fetch a surprising amount. In fact, a pristine example of a 1991 nickel in uncirculated condition can be worth an incredible $38,000. Yes, you heard that correctly. $38,000 for a single 5-cent coin. That's the kind of value that coin collectors dream about, and it's a reminder that sometimes, the smallest things can have the biggest impact. Top 4, we're delving into the captivating story of one of the most interesting coins in American history, the 1987 United States 5-cent coin, better known as the nickel. Now, you might think that the 1987 nickel is just another regular coin, but there's more to this small piece of currency than meets the eye. In fact, by the end of this video, you'll be amazed at the incredible value this nickel could hold today. Stick with us as we explore its history, design, and why it could be worth so much more than 5 cents. The 1987 nickel was produced at a time when the United States was undergoing significant political, social, and economic changes. The 1980s were a defining decade for the U.S., marked by a booming economy and the presidency of Ronald Reagan. In 1987, the country was still feeling the effects of the conservative economic policies that had begun in the early years of the Reagan administration. On the world stage, the Cold War was still ongoing, but its eventual end was on the horizon. Within the US, Americans were adjusting to rapid technological advancements, a booming stock market, and a cultural shift toward consumerism and pop culture. Amidst all these changes, the US Mint was busy producing coins to meet the country's growing need for currency. The nickel, a coin that had been in circulation since the 19th century, continued to play its role in the economy. It was during this time that the familiar design of the Jefferson nickel, which had been in use since 1938, remained largely unchanged. The 1987 nickel was no different in terms of its design, but the history behind the coin and the eventual rarity of certain examples make it an interesting find for collectors. When it comes to the design of the 1987 nickel, we are looking at a coin that has remained iconic for decades. On the obverse, we find the profile of Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States, whose image was designed by artist Felix Schlag. Jefferson's face has appeared on the nickel since 1938, and it has become one of the most recognizable features of U.S. coinage. Jefferson, known for his role in drafting the Declaration of Independence and his contributions to the founding of the nation, symbolizes the enduring values of freedom, democracy, and progress that have shaped the U.S. throughout its history. On the reverse of the 1987 nickel, we see an image of Jefferson's home, Monticello. This image, also designed by Schlag, has been a consistent feature of the nickel design since its introduction. Monticello, the neoclassical mansion that Jefferson built in Virginia, represents Jefferson's belief in the power of education, innovation, and architecture. The design on the reverse of the nickel serves as a tribute to Jefferson's legacy, highlighting the lasting influence he had on American culture and society. The Monticello design was a fitting choice to represent a coin that would go on to become one of the longest-running designs in U.S. history. Like most nickels, the 1987 version was struck from a blend of 75% copper and 25% nickel. This combination of metals gives the coin its distinctive silver-like color and sturdy construction, making it highly durable and able to withstand heavy circulation. The 1987 nickel weighs 5 grams and measures 21.21 millimeters in diameter, which is standard for nickels produced during this period. In fact, the size and weight of the coin have remained largely unchanged since the coin was first introduced in the 19th century. However, as with all coins, it's important to note that most 1987 nickels were heavily circulated, which means they've likely undergone the wear and tear of everyday use. Over the years, many of these coins became scratched, dented, or worn down from handling. This is why finding a 1987 nickel in pristine, uncirculated condition is a rare occurrence. Coins that have been well preserved and show no signs of damage are far more valuable to collectors, as they are considered a true representation of the coin's original state. The rarity of well-preserved 1987 nickels is what makes them so highly sought after by numismatists. If you have a 1987 nickel in your collection that is free from scuff marks, discoloration, or any signs of circulation, you could be sitting on a valuable coin. Uncirculated examples of this nickel are considered premium finds, and they often fetch higher prices at auctions or among private collectors. The demand for such coins continues to grow, making them even more valuable as time passes, but that's not all. Like many coins, the 1987 nickel is not immune to minting errors, and these rare variations can make a coin even more valuable. Minting errors occur when something goes wrong during the production process, resulting in a coin that is different from the typical design. Some 1987 nickels may have been struck off-center, which can create a unique appearance and make the coin stand out from the standard issue. Others may have doubled features or misaligned images due to errors in the minting press. These errors are prized by collectors because they are one-of-a-kind pieces that can't be found in other coin collections. If you happen to have a 1987 nickel with a minting error, you could be in luck. These rare coins are often worth much more than a standard nickel, and collectors are always on the lookout for unique specimens. Minting errors, particularly those that are especially pronounced, can increase the value of the coin significantly. The more pronounced and unusual the error, the more likely it is to attract the attention of serious coin collectors. Now, let's talk about the big question that everyone wants to know: the value of the 1987 nickel. While most 1987 nickels are worth just 5 cents, some examples can fetch far more, especially those in excellent condition or with rare minting errors. A well-preserved, uncirculated 1987 nickel could be worth thousands of dollars, but if you've got a specimen with an error or other unique features, the price can be even higher. In fact, a single 1987 nickel in top condition or with a rare error can be valued at an astonishing $47,000. Yes, that's right, $47,000 for a nickel. If you've got a 1987 nickel tucked away in your collection, it's definitely worth taking a closer look. Whether it's a pristine example or a rare error coin, this seemingly small and humble coin could turn out to be a hidden treasure. Who knew that a 5-cent coin could hold so much value? Top 5, and last coin for you, we're going to take an exciting journey into the past and examine one of the most fascinating coins in American history, the 1985 United States 5-cent coin, commonly known as the nickel. At first glance, the 1985 nickel may seem like just another coin that circulated during the 1980s. However, there's much more to this coin than meets the eye. So, grab your magnifying glasses and get ready to discover the incredible history, design, and value of the 1985 nickel. Trust me, you'll want to stick around to the end of this video, as we reveal just how much this small coin could be worth today. Let's start by setting the scene for 1985. The United States was in the midst of the 1980s, a decade of economic growth, technological advances, and cultural shifts. The nation had experienced a sharp economic recovery during the early years of the Reagan administration, and consumerism was booming. People were flocking to shopping malls, cars with cassette players were all the rage, and the country was becoming more and more focused on modernizing in both its technology and its culture. While all of these changes were taking place in the United States, one thing remained constant: the production of the nation's currency. And, of course, that meant the continued circulation of the nickel, a coin that has been part of American currency since 1866. But while the nickel had already been in circulation for over a century by the time 1985 rolled around, the year itself marked another key moment in the coin's long history. The 1985 nickel continued the tradition of the Jefferson nickel series, which had been first introduced in 1938. Although the coin had undergone some minor adjustments over the years, the basic design had remained unchanged since the beginning. The Jefferson nickel has always been recognized for its simplicity and elegance, and the 1985 version was no different. On the obverse of the coin, we see a profile of Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States. Jefferson, who was not only a founding father but also the author of the Declaration of Independence, is immortalized on the nickel. His image, designed by artist Felix Schlag, represents the enduring ideals of freedom, democracy, and leadership that the United States was founded upon. Jefferson's likeness on the coin is both a tribute to his contributions to American history and a symbol of the lasting values that continue to guide the nation today. On the reverse side of the 1985 nickel, we find an image of Monticello, Jefferson's iconic home in Virginia. This mansion, which Jefferson himself designed, is an enduring symbol of his vision for a better, more enlightened America. The Monticello design on the back of the nickel has been a staple of the Jefferson nickel series for decades, and it remains one of the most recognizable features of U.S. coinage. For many, Monticello represents the ideals of education, culture, and architectural beauty, which Jefferson believed were essential for the growth of the nation. Now, let's take a closer look at the technical details of the 1985 nickel. Just like many other coins from this era, it was struck in a blend of 75% copper and 25% nickel. This combination of metals gives the coin its characteristic appearance, shiny and metallic with a silvery hue. The nickel weighs 5 grams and has a diameter of 21.21 millimeters, which is consistent with the size of nickels produced in the United States for decades. While the coin's appearance remained largely unchanged, the 1985 nickel was produced in large quantities to meet the demand for circulating coins, meaning it spent plenty of time in people's pockets, circulating through the economy despite its relatively common production. finding an uncirculated 1985 nickel in mint condition today is becoming increasingly rare. Most 1985 nickels that are still in circulation have been worn down over time, losing their sharp details and becoming scratched or discolored from regular use. However, coins that have been carefully preserved in mint condition are far more valuable to collectors. This is where the true value of the 1985 nickel comes into play. If you happen to have one in pristine condition, you could be holding on to something that's worth far more than just 5 cents. When it comes to rare coins, collectors are always looking for coins in excellent condition, and the 1985 nickel is no exception. Coins that have been kept in uncirculated condition, meaning they have never been used in everyday transactions, are highly sought after. The finer the condition, the higher the coin's value. Many 1985 nickels have been heavily circulated, meaning that those in near-perfect condition are becoming harder and harder to find. So, if you happen to come across an uncirculated 1985 nickel, you may have just discovered a hidden gem in the world of numismatics. But that's not all. The 1985 nickel has another layer of intrigue that makes it especially appealing to collectors: the possibility of minting errors. Coins with minting errors are often much more valuable than standard examples because they're unique and difficult to find. These errors can occur during the coin's production, resulting in slight variations in the design, shape, or even the metal composition. For example, an off-center strike or a doubled image can make a coin stand out and become highly sought after by serious collectors. Minting errors are particularly prized because they offer a glimpse into the imperfect yet fascinating process of coin production. If you happen to have a 1985 nickel with one of these rare errors, you could be looking at a coin that's worth far more than the standard issue. Now, let's get to the most exciting part: the value of the 1985 nickel. Most of the nickels from this year are worth just 5 cents, but well-preserved or error coins can command significantly higher prices. If you have a 1985 nickel in uncirculated condition, or even one with a unique minting error, you could be sitting on a small fortune. Some 1985 nickels have been known to fetch incredible prices at auctions or private sales, and in fact, a top-quality example of a 1985 nickel could be worth as much as $49,000. That's right, this seemingly ordinary coin could be worth an astounding amount of money, depending on its condition and any unique features it might have. So, the next time you find yourself sorting through your coin collection, or even just checking your change, take a closer look at the 1985 nickels you come across. A mint condition or error coin could potentially be worth tens of thousands of dollars. With such a substantial value hidden in a simple 5-cent coin, it's always worth it to pay close attention to what's in your pocket. If you enjoyed learning about the 1985 nickel and want to uncover more fascinating stories about rare coins, make sure to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and hit the notification bell so you never miss a new discovery. Thanks for watching, and happy collecting!